There is something strange about modern trucks. In Europe, a massive lorry can pass through a city and almost blend into the background. In America, a semi can become the loudest thing on the road before you even see it. Most people think this is just a cultural difference, or that European trucks are simply smaller and softer. But the truth is more interesting. Trucks are shaped by the world they drive through, the laws, the streets, the speeds, and the habits built around them. Subscribe for more everyday mysteries like this, and the answer starts where most people never look. Europe made silence a design requirement. The first reason European trucks sound quieter is not really about manners. It is about rules. In Europe, silence is not treated as a luxury feature or a nice extra for people living near the road. It is built into the approval process of the vehicle itself. Before a truck can be sold, it has to pass noise requirements. And these rules do not only look at the engine, they also look at the whole sound system of the truck, the exhaust, the silencer, the way the vehicle behaves under acceleration, and how much noise it releases into the world around it. That matters, because a truck is not just a machine for moving freight. In a dense European city, it is also something passing under apartment windows, beside cafes, through old streets, and next to people walking a few feet away. This is where the difference begins. In the European Union, noise limits for heavy goods vehicles have been tightened in phases, with newer heavy trucks moving toward limits in the high 70 decibel range depending on power category. In the United States, the federal noise standard for medium and heavy trucks is often associated with an 80 decibel limit under a low-speed test that dates back decades. Those systems are not perfectly identical, so you cannot compare the numbers like a simple scoreboard. But the deeper point is bigger than the number. Europe forced manufacturers to treat quietness as part of compliance, not as branding, not as comfort, as permission to exist on the road. The Jake brake makes America sound louder. Now think about the sound people often associate with American trucks. Not just a diesel rumble, but that sharp, machine gun-like bark echoing off buildings or hillsides. That sound is often blamed on the Jake brake, or compression release engine brake. But the strange part is this: the engine brake itself is not always the villain. In a properly muffled system, engine braking can be controlled without becoming painfully loud. The problem comes when that braking sound is allowed to escape through a poor, damaged, modified, or nearly straight exhaust system. Then the truck does not just slow down, it announces itself. That is why the American truck sound can feel so much more aggressive. It is not always because the engine is dramatically more powerful. Sometimes, it is because the sound has fewer barriers between the combustion event and your ears. The truck is not just working, it is venting its work into the street. European trucks also use engine braking, retarders, and other systems to control speed, especially on hills. But the culture around exhaust noise, vehicle modification, enforcement, and urban noise sensitivity is different. In Europe, the truck is more often expected to disappear into the background. In America, especially with older trucks, custom rigs, or long-haul machines with vertical stacks, the sound can become part of the identity, and that changes how people remember them. A quiet truck passes and vanishes. A loud one becomes the entire stereotype. European cities forced trucks to whisper. There is another reason European trucks had to become quieter. The roads around them gave them no choice. Much of Europe was not built around giant highways and wide industrial corridors. It was built around old towns, narrow streets, mixed-use neighborhoods, and people living very close to where goods need to be delivered. That creates a problem. Stores still need food, packages, fuel, construction materials, and refrigerated goods. But if every delivery truck sounds like an industrial machine at 5 a.m., the city becomes unlivable. So instead of only asking, how do we move freight faster? Europe also had to ask, how do we move freight without waking everyone up? This is where low-noise delivery programs become interesting. In places like the Netherlands, standards such as PIEK encouraged quieter trucks, quieter refrigeration units, quieter loading equipment, and even quieter driver behavior. The target was not just the engine, it was the whole delivery event. The lift gate, the trolley wheels, the reversing alarm, the way a driver closes a door at night. That is the hidden layer most people miss. A quieter European truck is not only a quieter vehicle, it is part of a quieter logistics system. The city trained the machine to whisper, because if it did not, it could not operate where the customers actually were. The cabover design turns the engine into a boxed-in machine. At first, the shape of the truck seems like a separate issue. European trucks are usually cabover designs, with the driver sitting above the engine. American trucks are often long-nose conventionals, with the engine stretching out in front. But that shape changes more than just the look. In Europe, strict overall length limits make cabover trucks practical. If the law limits the total length of a tractor and trailer combination, every extra foot used by the hood is a foot not used for cargo. So, European manufacturers learned to pack the engine, cooling system, intake, exhaust treatment, and cabin structure into a very compact space. That compactness creates challenges. Sitting close to the engine can make cabin noise and vibration harder to control, but it also forces engineers to treat the powertrain like something that must be boxed, insulated, sealed, and managed very carefully. The result is a truck that often feels more like a dense, integrated machine than a large mechanical animal with its engine proudly displayed out front. American long-nose trucks, by contrast, grew in a world with different length rules and different road conditions. The long hood gives easier service access, more space, and a classic visual identity. But it can also make the truck feel more open, more exposed, and more expressive, especially when paired with tall exhaust stacks, older mufflers, or custom exhaust setups. So the cabover design does not magically make every European truck quieter, but it does push the entire engineering philosophy in a different direction. Contain the machine, package it tightly, and keep the noise under control. America lets trucks roar faster. Finally, there is speed. People often think truck noise is mostly engine noise, but at highway speeds, the sound becomes a mixture of everything: engine load, exhaust, tire noise, wind, road surface, and the aerodynamic turbulence around a massive moving box. The faster the truck goes, the more that mixture grows. In Europe, heavy trucks are generally speed limited, commonly around 90 kilometers per hour. That does not make them silent, but it places a ceiling on how loud they can become in normal highway use. The truck is physically prevented from spending long periods at much higher speeds. In the United States, the picture is different. Depending on the state and the road, trucks may travel at higher highway speeds, and when a huge vehicle moves faster, the noise does not rise in a gentle, polite way. Tires slap the pavement harder. Air tears around the mirrors, grille, trailer edges, and underbody. The engine may work harder on grades. The whole vehicle becomes a louder object moving through space. That is why the difference is not just what comes out of the exhaust pipe, it is also the road environment. A European truck cruising under a speed limiter through a noise-conscious transport system is playing by one set of rules. An American truck crossing vast highways at higher speeds, often over longer distances, is playing by another. So when people say European trucks are quieter, they are not hearing one single invention. They are hearing laws, cities, packaging, brakes, exhaust systems, and speed limits all working together. The sound is the final result. Click the next video to uncover another hidden design story. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment with what surprised you most. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.